beautiful people, and welcome. Today is a special day. Hang tight with us. We're just going to connect onto Instagram, and then we are going to have some super good fun time talking with a very special guest. And it looks like we are live on Instagram. So I just want to say welcome, everyone. Thanks for taking the time to connect here with us. We have our beautiful guest here, Lissa from Raw Food Romance. That's here, and we're going to talk all about the Raw Bundle. Welcome, Lissa.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on. This is such a pleasure. And thank you for joining the bundle. You joined with a recipe in our group collaboration ebook. So that's super cool. We're so glad that you can be a part of it. And yeah, the bundle is such a fun event because we get to hang out with each other and all of the lovely people who are watching. So it's just such a fun event, and we look forward to it every year, especially since this is the all raw vegan bundle. And something that's very special about our bundle is everything is brand new. So there's nothing that's been released before. Everything is new, and we are all releasing it all together right now for $50 if you click the link either in the bio or a description, and you can enjoy all the content. So yes, thank you for joining, and thank you for having me on.
Yes, and if you go ahead and click one of the links and buy this wonderful raw vegan bundle, then you have until June, is it June 30th to download everything? And so you're not gonna want to wait that long anyways, because you're gonna want to look at it immediately. There's so much fun stuff in there. And yes, thank you so much. This was a really a wonderful thing for me to sign up for, and I am super excited for this this opportunity here. So I want to share you. I know you have a creation in the bundle that's an entire book dedicated to all raw vegan sushi. And I would like to know what inspired you to create an entire book on raw vegan sushi.
That's a great question, and thank you very much. Yes, this ebook has been something that I've wanted to write for a very long time, and I love sushi so much. And I do have, random sushi recipes here and there in different ebooks. Like through the years, I've put one in my transition to raw ebook, the 52 to a new you. There's been some they're just peppered across certain ebooks. So if I would post about raw sushi, people would be like, "Oh, where are your sushi recipes?" And I'd be like, "Well, there's one here and there's one here and there's one here." So they're kind of like all over the place. And over the years, I've also learned new techniques that work really well for raw sushi specifically, because we're not using sticky rice, we're using cauliflower, we're doing the wet chop method. Yes, look at that beautiful cauliflower. So there's specific techniques that are involved in making really good raw vegan sushi. So I wanted to share that all in one place. And you know me, I like to over deliver. And I create so much when I do the ebooks, and I wanted to make sure that there was a wide variety of different types of sushis that people could make, different kinds of rolls and sauces. There's blended sauces, there's hand mixed sauces, there's dehydrated condensed sauces. So there's different types of sauces in the book too. There's ferments, like the fermented raw vegan ginger, the sushi ginger. There's oshinko, which is like a radish, a yellow radish that goes in sushi rolls. There's kimchi, the mustard spicy kimchi. Oh, it's so good. That one's in there too. There's salads. There's other things as well that could be part of like a bento box, like the marinated lion's mane barbecue skewers. There's
Oh my gosh.
mung bean salad. There's, oh my gosh, there's just umami greens and the katsu, which is kind of like a cutlet, kind of a breaded cutlet sort of thing using the lion's mane. And then the katsu sauce, there's savory pancakes. in there too, which is one of my favorites. So there's lots of recipes in there. There's 160 recipes. It's the biggest book that I've ever written for recipes.
Wow, wow. Well, I'm going to say, just like you, I am a huge fan of vegan sushi as well, and very excited to play with all of those recipes. I don't really know of, I don't know even, I mean, there might be other raw vegan sushi books out there, but I'm not familiar with it. And so not only are you getting all of these, but everything else that people have contributed. And so it's a super win-win. I do want to ask you, so when you created this, who did you have in mind? Like beginners or longtime raw foodies, sushi lovers? Is there a mix of different levels, or let me know?
Yeah, I think anybody at any level can make any of the recipes. I tried to keep it simple, but at the same time fancy. So you don't have to get all super creative with the toppings if you don't want to. You can put whatever you want inside the sushi rolls as well. Like each recipe is kind of, there's different parts and different steps to certain recipes. But you don't have to follow everything absolutely exactly with what you put inside or what sauce you use. You can use a simple coconut aminos with wasabi as a dip if you want, or you can go a little bit more intense and make the condensed sauce, which actually the condensed sauces don't take a lot of time. Like I can make a condensed sauce in like under 5 minutes. Cause it's, you just need the juice and you need the other ingredients and then you just put it in the dehydrator for 24 hours. So it's not like you're sitting and watching the dehydrator during that time. Right. So they are really easy to make. You just need to plan in advance. So it's like, oh, Friday night we're having sushi. So Thursday night I put the sauce in. Or whatever it might be. So I tried to keep it kind of variety. So people who are new to sushi can start playing around with some. People who are more advanced who want to do a whole bunch of different things in their sushi and get all really creative with the toppings and stuff. There is also in the sushi book, we recorded a 49-minute video going over sushi basics for raw vegan sushi. So we go over the wet chopping, we go over how to do the double nori roll for the strength of the nori rolls instead of falling apart, because the wet chop cauliflower is very hydrating and sometimes that can weaken the nori sheet. So if you have 2 nori sheets, you can roll it and you've got a reinforcement in there and they're easier to cut. They stay together a lot better. They're just overall so much easier. We also show how to make the inside out rolls, which are super fun and very delicious. And the avocado topping, we show how to put the avocado on top of the inside out rolls too. So that's in there as well. So for the beginners or for people who learn visually, you can watch that video and get a good idea of the sushi basics. And then from there, you can follow the recipes and make some delicious sushi because it's so fun.
Yeah, and when you do things, you're right. You really just make it very simple to follow, beautiful pictures. I love that there's this wonderful video that you put in there and that you mentioned the rolls. I have these, I don't know if you could see them, and these are the untoasted. So they're the raw ones. And so is this what you would use and talk about in your book?
Yes. So that's a great brand. We have one, I don't remember the name of the brand off the top of my head, but it's raw nori as well. So you want to get untoasted.
Untoasted.
If it's toasted, it's not raw. It's still vegan, obviously, but the untoasted would make it raw. The only thing that's different is the toasted one isn't as chewy as the untoasted. So the untoasted has a little bit more chewiness to it, which I don't mind at all. I think I don't even really notice personally. But it can be a little bit more chewy than the toasted one. But yeah, you want to get hand harvested if you can. And obviously it would be raw if it's untoasted.
Yeah, and that's amazing that you can do an inside out roll that's not going to fall all over the place with a cauliflower. And I can't wait to hopefully learn and become a master like you at some point in the near future. I'm not going to wait too long. But speaking of cauliflower, why did you choose cauliflower? Is there anything about cauliflower, I mean, I know we could talk about nutrients and things like that, but what makes cauliflower a good replacement for any type of maybe rice?
Great question. So yes, the nutrient quantity in cauliflower is wonderful. The choline, and actually someone else who's in the bundle, her name's Wendy. She
Yes.
contributed her Feminine Harmony ebook, which, by the way, guys, go grab the bundle. Link is in the description and bios. You want to get the bundle.
Yes.
Yes. But Wendy, in her book, she talks about choline and the importance of getting enough choline, especially as a raw vegan and a vegan. Choline is one of those things that over time we can get deficient in if we are not, making sure that we're getting variety and that kind of thing. And that's one reason why I have observed why some people, when they get to that point of deficiency, when they're feeling brain fog, memory loss, they're just not all there, they start to crave eggs specifically, because eggs are actually really high in choline. And usually if somebody is eating too little variety, or they're eating too many fruits that are lower in choline, because it can be hard to get enough choline if you are eating predominantly fruits. We do need the vegetables to get a lot of other ingredients in there too, or nutrients, so that we can actually have like a healthy amount of choline. And cauliflower is a great source of choline. So cauliflower being one of those great sources, one head of cauliflower has roughly, give or take, about 300 milligrams of choline in one head. And you can make 2 nori rolls with one head of cauliflower. So just there, you're getting about, 280 to 300 milligrams, depending on the size. And women need about 425 a day. Men need about 550 milligrams a day. So just one head of cauliflower gets you a lot of your choline for the day. And a lot of people don't eat a lot of cauliflower necessarily. We also use cauliflower in place of rice because, number one, it's white, so it looks like rice in the sushi rolls, so it's really cool that way. And number two, it's harder. Yes, it's not sticky like rice, but it's a little bit harder, so it does kind of bulk up the inside of the sushi. But mainly we use it because it's white, so it kind of more looks like a sushi roll. And the trick that we use, because I've made raw sushi for years and years and years and years, since even before I went raw, I've made raw vegan sushi with the cauliflower. And I've always done it in the food processor. And in the food processor, it's a little bit too hard and edgy. And those little pieces have more often than not poked through the nori rolls and ripped the nori rolls. So doing it in the food processor isn't like the most ideal. It works, and people have done it before, but it's also, because they're so big chunks, they don't necessarily stick together as well. So what we do is the wet chop method. And how you do that is you fill your blender halfway with water. You put 500 grams of cauliflower, which is typically one head of cauliflower. It's 500 grams. And then you wet chop it. So you basically, 3 seconds is all you need. If you go too long, it's going to be too mushy. If you don't go long enough, it's going to be a little bit too coarse. But 3 seconds is perfect. You count 1, 2, 3, and you're done. And so you're blending the cauliflower with the water. Then you strain it through a fine meshed metal strainer or a nut milk bag, and you squeeze off as much water as possible. At that point, I like to continue to squeeze. Like I'll grab a quarter cup worth and I'll squeeze even more water out of it, because the more water you get out of it, the less is in your sushi roll, which we don't want, right? So we squeeze as much as we can get out of that. But the wet chopping makes it a little bit more fine and stickier, so that you can actually roll your nori roll a lot easier with the cauliflower. And this works with any root vegetables. So in the sushi book, again, buy the bundle. Everybody go grab the bundle. Links in the description box or in the bio. I see Blue Star saying, can't wait to crack open the sushi recipes. So excited to see that. And yeah, I hope you enjoy. And it's available until May 11th. I see in the thing here, it says till May 10th. It's actually May 11th.
Okay,
Yeah, May 11th.
Yeah, let's update. We're going to update that right now. Good catch. Sorry about
Yes,
that.
that's okay. No, that's
And
all
here we
good.
go. Just making sure everyone was paying
Yay!
attention.
Yes, May 11th. So yeah, I think that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
But I got distracted with the May 11th. I also wanted to mention too about the download deadline. It's super important because most bundles that we've done in the past for the last like 5 years, there's always been a 1 year download limit. So like you get the bundle, you get the email, and you have a year to download. Unfortunately, the platforms that we're using to do the bundles have increased their prices dramatically. And when I mean dramatically, I'm talking thousands of dollars a year. It's costing extra to host. So this year, we're only hosting until June 30th. So once you buy the bundle, you have until June 30th to download the content. But like you said, once you buy the bundle, you're going to want to download it right now. So download all the content. It only takes 5 minutes. Once it's downloaded on your device, you don't need that email anymore. So don't worry about it. You can access everything from your device. And we also heavily encourage everybody to back up your files because
Yes.
after June 30th, you can't download it again. So once it's on your device, put it in Google Drive, Dropbox, a USB stick on a different device, just in case something happens to your main device that you have your files on. And this goes for all important files that you have, your tax documents, your special pictures. Like we don't want to have them in one place. Make sure you put all your safety files in a safe backup so you can access them just in case. You never know
Yes.
with technology. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. And Nene 2015 said, bought it. Yay. And thank you so much.
Yes.
I'm sure you're going to love it. And I also just wanted to say hello to Blue Star Energy Healer. And so I just want to take a second to go back to the choline.
Choline. Yeah.
Choline. I apologize. So, you hear about the most common things, right? Protein, iron, calcium, D. I don't hear about choline.
Yeah, choline is one of those ones that isn't talked about too often because, like there's so much in eggs and, the average standard North American usually consumes those. But when you're on a vegan diet, it's not that a vegan diet is deficient. It's just that we have to make sure that we eat. And when you're eating plants, especially raw plants, they are so low in calorie density. And I find the number one reason why people struggle with eating high raw or all raw is because they're just not eating enough volume to compensate for the calories that they need and also the nutrition. And Chris Kendall has his myth busting ebook in the bundle. So go grab the bundle. Link is in the description box or in the bios on Instagram, depending on where you're watching. Go.
I don't want to interrupt you, but I just want to say that she right here. Hi, I don't see the bundle link. The bundle link should be in both of our bios. You can go to either one. And just should be there. So like Instagram or wherever the platform is. Do we have it here on this to highlight right now? So you should be able to find it. Go ahead and check it out now. You can always come back if you have any trouble. Both of us will be happy. Lissa's the expert here, so she can definitely make sure that you have a link. And I just wanted to make sure that was addressed.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you. And if anybody needs the link, if you don't have the link, just send Jennifer or myself a DM or like a comment or something on post and we can get to you. So hopefully we can see that. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And so is there a test? Is there a blood test that you can ask to be ran? Let's say you're going to check your levels to see if you're getting enough of these unusual or less, I shouldn't say unusual, less commonly heard levels like what you're mentioning?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I do believe you can test for choline, but it's not like on a regular blood test. But again, don't quote me on that. I'm not too sure exactly, but I do think that you can test for those levels. And choline is essential for brain health, obviously, like mentioned, but neurotransmission, lipid transport through the cells and stuff like that. So it's very important to make sure that we get enough of these specific little things. And I don't want to scare people. Obviously, we don't want to like hyper focus on specific nutrients, because it's all about getting enough variety. If we can get enough variety, we can get enough nutrients. And some people shy away from specific things, like they're worried about eating certain things, so they don't eat them. But yeah. Oh, Nate's got some information here. Let's see. Yes. Genova Diagnostics, Vibrant America, Mosaic Diagnostics, so they can test for choline methylation profile. So
Lissa,
yeah.
your sound changed a little bit. We could hear you, but it went drastically down when you were sharing that.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I think that's much
Okay, I
better.
think his phone maybe interfered with that. But yeah, so you can go to the doctor, Genova Diagnostics, Vibrant America, Mosaic Diagnostics. So those are some specialty labs that you can go to, and these might come as part of a nutrient panel, methylation profile, or organic acids test, rather than a standalone test. I do think you have to dig a little deeper to get a test to see your choline levels. But there's other things that you can test for too, like omega-3, your omega-3 balance, omega quant. That's an at-home testing that you can do. You just pay for it and they ship it to you. You prick your finger, you get some blood on the little paper, send it off, and they can test your omega-3 ratio to see if you need to, start getting more chia and flax and lower down those cashews and almonds, so that you can get more in. But yeah, you can obviously now, yes, you can test for it. You have to ask for it or go to an independent lab.
It's really important that we, as if you are new to this, that you make sure that your levels are good, and that's part of the learning process and being curious. Because if you're not feeling right or something's off, investigate. It doesn't necessarily mean you should just forget it, it's not working. Try to maybe minor tweak it or see. And you just gave so many wonderful tips about how and what to test for, and I really appreciate that. You mentioned the head of cauliflower and how much it makes. I just want to share, this bowl is already pre-chopped because it was one of the Costco bags, and so I'm not sure how many pounds. Maybe it's like 2 pounds. I could check the wrapper, but just to give you an idea, if you do buy a pre-cut one, I wonder how many. Do you know the equivalent? Maybe you don't, of yourself.
Do you still have the bag?
I do.
Yeah,
Let's grab it.
Yeah, it should say on there how many pounds. So 454 grams is 1 pound. Let's see.
I know I've got that special arm. So this says it's 2 pounds or 907 grams for this organic cauliflower florets, and I'll put it real close so you can see down there. So that's like double what you just said.
Yeah, so that whole bag would make you approximately 4 nori rolls. So that bag would be 2 standard medium-sized heads of cauliflower. 900 grams. Yeah.
Okay, so that's really good, because you can find a lot of places where you can buy it like pre-chopped and ready to go, or not chopped, but in these florets. And so I think that's really good that we touched on that. And I just want to say, anybody that is in the chat, welcome. And of course, if you have any questions or anything, please feel free to put them in. We'll do our best to address them. I'm so, Betsy says, so excited for the new raw bundle. Haven't missed one yet. Ordering today. Awesome. Yay.
I love hearing that so much. And that's, again, another really amazing thing about the raw vegan bundle. It only happens once a year, and every single year it's brand new content. So there's no repeats, there's no duplicates, nothing in this bundle has ever been released before. So it's all brand new. And we all work all year to create these ebooks for you, and recipes or courses or whatever it might be. And it's available only until May 11th for $50. If you were to buy everything separately, so if you missed the bundle and you wanted to buy absolutely everything that's in the bundle, you would pay nearly $1,400 for all the new content that's in this. But when you buy the bundle until May 11th, you only pay $50. And it's kind of like our gift to everybody. It's like a thank you gift. We're giving away pretty much all of our content for $50. It's such an amazing deal. So grab it. Make sure that you get it before May 11th, and make sure you download it before June 30th.
Yes.
Very important to note.
That is so important. And Gina says, hi, Jennifer and Lissa. Gina says, I love sushi. And so we're glad to have you and everyone else here as well. And so I want to ask you, are there ways to make the rolls ahead of time? Let's say you have a busy week or packed lunch, or is there anything in the book or that you can share about, you know, possibly doing some of these things ahead of time when it might be wet and you don't want to get everything too soggy? Any tips?
Yeah. So with sushi is a little bit more challenging because it's more of a fresh, a fresh thing. So what I would do if we want to have sushi, say on Tuesday night, like it's really nice to plan your meals, like be like, okay, Tuesday night, we're going to have sushi. You could, like, you have your bowl of cauliflower ready to go, ready to chop, wet chop, but don't wet chop it. You could wet chop it the night before. When I was building the recipe book, I would wet chop like 6 heads of cauliflower, and I had so much cauliflower rice. It was crazy. And I would use it over the next day or two. But because when you wet chop, when you blend anything, you blend in oxygen, and that oxygen starts to oxidize the food. So, there's a little nutrient loss going on there when you chop stuff or whatever. It's negligible. Like, it's not a huge deal. But it does go bad faster because all that oxygen that's in there is going to make things go bad faster. So it's better to have your cauliflower like you have it on the table and then just wet chop it when you're ready to go.
Got it.
Then, it helps because then you don't have to cut the cauliflower. Yeah. Right. So at least you just have to wet chop. It's really super easy, very, very fast. And somebody I see is saying, what about making parsnip rice?
Yes.
Yes, you can use parsnip. I do have some recipes in there that use parsnip. You can kind of alternate. So 500 grams is a typical amount, 500 to 700 grams worth of root vegetables, cauliflower, that kind of thing is going to do about 2 nori rolls, like the regular nori rolls, not the inside out ones. That's totally different, but that will do about 2 regular nori rolls. So you could do, like, say 300 grams of cauliflower with 200 grams of parsnip if you wanted. Parsnip can be kind of intense if you're not used to that kind of a flavor. So I wouldn't personally use all parsnip. It might be a little intense. So I would cut it with cauliflower. You could add a zucchini in there as well. Peel a zucchini and add that. Can help to lower the flavor profile down a little bit, because I've made just parsnip rice and it's really intense. It's like, that's all I taste. So it is nice to have the cauliflower as a very neutral kind of a thing. But yeah, parsnip is great. And I do have some recipes that call for a little bit of parsnip in there too.
Okay. Yeah, that was a great question. Cauliflower sushi, which I've had before, although I need to learn your techniques, they are definitely satisfying enough to be a main meal. And so, why is that? Is that, do you think, because of the fiber and the water and everything that's still intact versus, a lot of people think I need the rice because otherwise I'm not going to stay full, and that kind of thing. I've heard, especially from, even people that I know that are males, that they need more calories and things like that. Would you recommend anything that would allow somebody to be more satisfied when using this as a main meal?
That's a really good question. I'm just now looking at 1 head of cauliflower in Chronometer. So 1 medium head of cauliflower is roughly about 150 calories. So in a meal, you want to have it higher calorie. so that you feel satiated, right? If you're only eating 150 calories, even though it fills your stomach because it's loaded with water and loaded with fiber, you're going to be hungrier more often because it's not enough calories. So that's why you want to pair it with other things like maybe a date-based dip, or you could add avocado into that to kind of boost the calories a little bit. But also, I personally recommend to eat it with something else. So if you make sushi and you make, 2 rolls, have that with a side salad as well, so that you can get a little bit extra. You're also getting more variety, you're getting more nutrients, and the satiety that we feel, like that, I don't want to say heaviness, but it is kind of a heaviness. You feel satiated and you don't feel hungry, is because of it takes a little bit more time to digest some cooked foods, but also you're eating more calorie dense things. So you're eating more calories in that sitting compared to a head of cauliflower. It's a huge amount. Like that much rice would be really hard to eat. If you're eating the same, like it's a lot. So yeah, it's about volume. It's really it boils down to volume. We got to eat more on a raw vegan diet to account for the calories that we're not getting in the denser items, so that we can feel satiated. And another thing that really helps with satiation is hitting the 5 tastes. So we've got sweet, sour, bitter, salty, and umami. And the sushi really lends a lot of salty and umami. So you get satiated in that way as well. So you get the sweet from, fruit or your date-based dressing or what have you. You get the sour from maybe apple cider vinegar or lemon juice in your dip as well. You get the bitter from a little bit from the cauliflower or whatever rice you have. Maybe there's a little bitter in the seaweed, but the salty and the umami, those are really what bring that full-bodied experience that you want. So the seaweed, the wasabi, mustard, tomato powder, and tomatoes are actually pretty umami. Mushrooms are very umami as well. Miso paste, coconut aminos, all the stuff that is typically used with sushi is very umami. So that can bring a little bit of more of a taste satiation. But when it comes to the stomach, it's all about volume. So eating more will help to not only fill you up, but also satiate as well in that realm, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I love how you just broke it down into all the different categories, because that is very helpful when you are looking at, especially if you're newer. I keep saying if you're newer because I'm on the newer side of raw and learning all about it. And it's really important to be able to go, okay, what are the different categories like what you just mentioned, and what am I eating here that's going to fit in that? And then of course eating enough volume like you shared. So that's really, really great. I just want to say hello to Vegan Knowledge. JJ is in the house. Hello. A quick question, a little off topic from Gina. It just says, Lissa, how do we get the past cookbooks from you and Chef AJ? Are they still available? And I know we're doing the bundle today, but I don't know if that's something you could give a quick yes or no to.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So in this bundle that we have the brand new Make It Raw 4 that I wrote with Chef AJ. And something on a side note before I finish the answer. This is one of Chef AJ's recipes that's in Make It Raw 4. This is black licorice. There's 3 ingredients. This is raw vegan black licorice, and it tastes exactly like black licorice. And I'm a black licorice fan. I know not everybody is, but I am one of those.
I am too. I am too.
So you're going to want to make this. If you have a dehydrator, you are going to want to make this black licorice recipe. It is so good. It tastes exactly to me like black licorice. I'm like mind blown. It's so good. And it's good for your digestion as well, because one of the secret ingredients is actually very pro digestive support health.
That is awesome. That Chef AJ, we love her.
Oh yeah, totally.
She's always surprising us with new things. And yes, that's wonderful that you could get that in the bundle. So make sure you get the bundle. Use one of the links in our bios and get it and download it as soon as possible, so you don't miss out, and you too will be able to have all of that as well.
But yeah, to finish answering Gina's question, you can get Make It Raw 1, 2, and 3 currently in my ebook store. So I have an ebook store. It's at payhip.com/raw food romance. If you go to my ebook store, we do have the collection of the 3. And number 4 is only available in the bundle right now. After the bundle's over, that will go in the ebook store along with the collection of the other 3. But right now, the only place you can get number 4 is in this bundle. And Gina's saying, is there a Lissa and Chef AJ cookbook in this bundle? Yes, that's the one we were just talking about. Make It Raw Volume 4 with the black licorice recipe in there. There's 28 recipes in this ebook, like the Bombay tomato blaze soup, which is one of my favorite soups, is in there. We've got the lion's mane cutlet and gravy that you could have as a side dish to another raw salad. There's a bunch of other raw salads in there. I'm going to be live on Chef AJ tomorrow at 11 a.m. PST, and we're going to be making from that ebook the garlic cilantro lime rice, and then we're going to be rolling it into sushi rolls. So that's going to be happening tomorrow there. But yes, we do have an ebook in the bundle. It's number 4 in the Make It Raw series.
Yeah, great question. Thank you so much for taking the time to explain all that. And that's really good information. I know that you had mentioned somebody in the book, Wendy, who is doing things on healing and hormones and stuff. And just to throw it in there, I'm going to be interviewing with her tomorrow, and I'm excited and looking forward to that. She's got great stuff, and there's so many wonderful things in there. And so I do have, if you have time for one more question. Okay. So I'm wondering, can raw vegan sushi, right, can it help people who are dealing with inflammation or digestive issues?
That's a really good question. So the thing is, if you have issues with cruciferous veggies, I have noticed that because it's wet chopped, it can be easier for people who have digestive issues to digest the raw sushi. But if you're not used to eating a lot of cruciferous, it might be a little bit of a party for your microbiome.
I love that.
And we have the fire alarm going off again. So if it's loud,
just a little love music, a little dance party. It's all good.
Right? Oh my gosh. Can you hear that?
A little bit, but it's all, I can hear you more. So
it was so loud.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh. So crazy. But anyways, yeah, it can be really helpful for the digestive tract if you go slow with it. So don't overdo it. Like if you do make your sushi rolls, share them with somebody, or make a half batch. Like maybe just do 250 grams worth of the cauliflower and then have that in a roll, just one roll. That way it might not be as much for you as you grow your microbiome. So that's something that's kind of like a misconception in the raw vegan world, is that if you eat something and it causes gas or bloating, it's not human food and you should never eat it again, right? But this isn't true necessarily for the majority. If you eat something and it causes a little gas, it might just be that your gut isn't ready to deal with that much. For example, I really always love to use the like weightlifting analogy. It would be like going to the gym, eating 2 big rolls if you're not used to it, would be like going to the gym and trying to lift 100-pound weights, right? It's a little too much for your muscles. Doesn't mean that lifting weights is bad. It just means that you had a little bit too much for your muscle strength. So in that case, you would start with the 5 or 10-pound weights, right? You know, you're still lifting weights. You would still be eating cauliflower. You would just be eating it in a smaller amount. And as your gut gets stronger, you can eat more of it because your gut is building and it's strengthening, and there's more bugs in there that like the cauliflower. And this goes for most fibers as well. If you find that certain ones cause gas or bloating, it's not a bad thing. It's just a signal that you had a little bit too much and you need to toned down just a little bit, but it doesn't mean that it's bad. You could also, if you do have an issue with cauliflower, you could add a couple pieces of cauliflower to the carrot zucchini one. That's a really nice light one as well. The carrot zucchini sushi rolls are so delicious. Nate and I really love those ones, like for flavor wise. So it's basically wet chop again. You're using carrot and zucchini, but you could put a couple florets of cauliflower in there to get that cauliflower fiber in your colon so that it can start to feed the cauliflower friendly bacteria that like it. That way you can work your way up. So when you're wet chopping, it's not like specific, you have to use exactly those ingredients. Like you could add beet, anything that's hard that you can add to the to be wet chopped can be wet chopped. So you can kind of mix and match a combo of different root veggies to get the same effect. But yeah, you can even add a chunk of garlic or a chunk of ginger to your wet chop to give it a little extra flavor if you wanted to. But all of those recipes are in the sushi book too. So
this is great. This
yeah.
is great. Well, is there anything else that you would like to share with anyone about the vegan bundle or yourself or where people can find you? Most people know where to find you, but in case they don't, please share anything else, any advice, tips, tricks, anything.
Sweet. Thank you. Yeah. So for those who don't know, I am Raw Food Romance on Instagram, Lissa's Raw Food Romance on YouTube and Facebook, and yeah, Raw Food Romance everywhere. But yeah, I love to share the different recipes, and I've been raw for over a decade now, and it's been such a wonderful journey. My husband Nate, he's raw with me as well. He actually has his brand new seed crackers and dips ebook in the bundle. He just finished his ebook last night at like 9. He just got it in right in time, and it's a beautiful book, and the crackers are so good. They're really easy to make too. He made this book in mind of the general public who doesn't want to do like extra super amounts of prep. It's like blending or mixing. Like a lot of the crackers are just mix it in a bowl and spread it on the tray. Like it's really easy to do. So he's got some epic recipes in his cracker book, but you get that when you buy the bundle as well. And yeah, like to end on a note, I would just say take it slow, take it one day at a time. If you feel overwhelmed, because there's 32 things in the bundle, when you download the bundle, make sure you download it before June 30th, please. You don't have to worry about all the stuff that's in it. Just download it all onto your device. That way you can go through it at your own pace, and you have those files for as long as you keep them, right? That's why we recommend a safe backup. Just in case they get deleted off your main device, you'll have a backup so you can go and get those files again. But take your time. Open one every couple days, read through it, enjoy it, absorb it. And if you find a recipe that you really want to make, collect the ingredients, go one line at a time, and enjoy the process. It's not supposed to be stressful, or, you're not supposed to try to be perfect. Just enjoy adding more raw food to your life, because that's really the whole point, is more raw food. If you want to go all raw, that's cool too, right? But it's about embracing more raw food, getting more in your life, learning a little bit here and there every day. Just like when we learn a new instrument, or we learn a new hobby, or a new language, we understand that takes time. We have to be patient with ourselves. We're not going to be fluent in a new language after 3 days. We're not going to be able to play in an orchestra after 3 days. We have to take our time with those. And we understand that. We give ourselves grace to practice and learn. We have to give ourselves the same grace when we are learning a new diet and learning new things, learning new habits. We have to give ourselves time to implement these things and change our beliefs. I mean, like decades of these belief systems that we've held on to are going to take time to get through. So just take one day at a time and enjoy the process, because it's meant to be fun. And yeah, get that sushi book in the bundle and get some sushi in you. It's so good.
Yes, I loved everything that you shared. And it really is important that once you buy the bundle and you download it right away, to move it somewhere or copy it somewhere, like you said. And just to share, like we use the Google Drive, and that's really nice, because if I'm on vacation or I'm somewhere else, I can log in anywhere and I don't have to go, oh, it's on my one computer at home. And so I just wanted to throw that in there. And I just really want to thank you so much for taking the time to share about your beautiful sushi book in the bundle, and for just spending time with me and everybody here. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And don't forget to eat your greens and give plants a chance. Get your raw vegan bundle. It's available until May 11th. Download right away. You can find the links in Lissa's bio or mine, and we're here to help you if you have any questions or any concerns about anything else. So thank you so much, Lissa. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Thank you for joining again. Like you have joined the group collaboration ebook, which is something that you get. It's a collector's edition. Every year we have a new theme. This year's theme is world favorites, and you contributed something to that as well. So thank you so much for joining. And yeah, we hope everyone enjoys all the goodies.
Yes. And yeah, I was able to do that. And I didn't have enough time to add more things, but if I had, I would. So I know next year. But yeah, it's a really a wonderful collaborative book. So check that one out as well. And everybody be well. And thank you so much, Lissa. Thank you.
Thank you.
I gotta get wet chopping right now.
Yes, you do. Get some sushi.
All right. Bye, everyone.